Good evening. This is Ken of Tortoise Capital with the Nightly Strategy Podcast for October 25th, 2023. We'll start with the Hybrid Swing Workshop 30-minute charts. Alcoa, Morning Hook, PSAR Flip, Scratch, no overnight risk. This is AI. We exited the long position, which we held overnight for a fractional gain on the PSAR flip. We got short. We're holding one position overnight with 2R. Amazon, we lost 1R on the adverse gap. We had been up over an R, gap down, lost an R, stopped and reversed, added a second position, holding 5R. So for a net of 4 today with two positions of overnight risk. Caterpillar short on the collapsing dragon, holding that position overnight. Cliff exited the long, re-entered on a COTA 2 late in the afternoon. I'm holding that one long to offset some of the shorts. We got a fractional gain in hand. CVS intraday morning hook for a fraction. Disney initiated the short on the collapsing dragon, holding 1.5R overnight. Dish continued to hold yesterday's owl entry short. It's holding about 1R overnight. Devon Energy, morning hook, dragon skin entry 1, 2, 3, holding 2R into the close. That looks promising on rising oil prices. This is Electronic Arts, short on the PSAR flip and collapsing dragon, 2R, no overnight risk. Emerging markets, we were up 3R, ended up losing 2R on the adverse gap, no further trade. ETHE, 2R on the COTA 2 entry in the morning, no overnight risk. Mexico, morning hook, scratch. Brazil, a COTA 2 to the downside, covered with about half an hour gain. Intel, we were long one overnight, took a fractional loss. Collapsing dragon short, cashed 3, so netted 2 for the day. IP, we closed the long for about 1R, no further trade. Real estate took the collapsing dragon short for 1, no overnight risk. Coca-Cola closed the long for a half an R, re-entered a COTA 2 emerging dragon to the upside, cashed 1, no overnight risk. Regional banks, 2R on the afternoon COTA, SSC and the RLXD cross. Mattel, we tried a morning hook and went nowhere. That scratched. McDonald's closed the long for 2R on a dragon skin exit here. That actually held up pretty well for the large caps, so we'll look at that tomorrow. Merck, no trade. I missed the morning hook. Microsoft, this was a Anderson regression line stretch. And on the reversal intraday after that amazing move up, we got short with a MMRB and cashed 3R on a dragon skin. This was starting to recover. That seemed like a good thing to do. Marijuana, we got short on the PSAR flip and the owl entry and cashed 2 near the end of the day. Wanted to minimize the overnight risk. NVIDIA, same trade, 2R. Clean energy, we covered the short for 1R, re-entered it short. It really didn't collapse, so we took a fractional win. No trade rest of the day. Rivian, no trade. I missed the collapsing dragon. The S&P was just downward and painful all day. Treasuries, we had been holding 2R long. It adverse gapped, so we lost 1. then stopped and reversed here, picked up 2 with a dragon exit, so we netted 1 out of that complex. Tesla just covered the short for 1R, missed the afternoon slide. That may be painful tomorrow. U.S. Steel got short on the RLXD. It didn't really collapse once it hit the Bollinger Band mean. Started to recover, so we cashed 1. And that's the portfolio for today. We're now into the sniper trade of the day. So this is 3-minute charts. Notice a gap down. The OR3 opening range 3 is in blue. The second bar collapsed below the low of that, so we're short with a standard risk box. Cashed a half an R. Re-entry on the collapsing dragon. That lost half an R. That stopped and reversed on an SSC. That lost a fraction. Took a break. Collapsing dragon once more. Standard risk. Now starting to work in our favor. Grinds all the way down on a single position for a net of a little over 3. And so we ended up netting 3 for the day on the sniper trade of the day. And we'll take a quick look at the traders. Here's Brian on the Kiwi dollar pair on 5-minute charts. He gets a fraction on the short, fractional loss on the short. This was a collapsing dragon. He re-enters the collapsing dragon. That's the key to sanity. Smashed it for 3.18, netted 2.87 for the day. He's got basically 22R out of those 50 trades. He's rolling right along at 0.38R average expectancy per trade on a single Forex pair that he's working. Doing a great job. Here's Amazon Samuel. Collapsing Dragon gets a fraction. Collapsing Dragon re-entry brings in 1.06. Quick Scratch, another 0.69 for a net of 2.8 for the day. Perfectly executed. Here he picks up 0.1 on a collapsing dragon that really didn't go anywhere. That's good practice right here. Failure to fail further. When this goes into the summer, right around here, we should be getting long. I want you to check your scores in here on your findings, because your summer should be entering right here rather than here. That's a few bars late, so you need to check your formatting in there. That's not a bad. That failure to fail further makes this an SSC, so consider that in the future. Perfectly executed caught a 2 off this long. You might have said, yeah, that could be an SSC. I wouldn't disagree. When you see that long slide of a PSAR, then when it makes a higher low for the Kata 2, that's a beautiful entry. We might have tried an additional one here, but that's pretty good work for 2.5 R in 15 minutes and a great exit as the train is coming into the station and starting to stall. That's really well done. You don't get the P1 till up in here, so could you argue that maybe that was a little early? Yeah, but you're right along the skin of the dragon, and preserving 2.5 R is pretty nice. Market minus 0.53. You're getting chewed up in here in the river. These are things that I think aren't needed. But if you're going to trade here, then that should have been a stop and reverse, and then that would have been your second entry, and that makes that day positive for that pair. This is the pound dollar on the threes. But then he makes up for it in EWZ. All is forgiven. There was a re-entry available in here as well. But that's looking pretty good, Mark. Want you to start calculating your expectancies for your histograms. You're getting close to having a statistically significant sample. So we're looking pretty good there. Well done to the fellows. All right, now to the daily report. Sniper trade of the day you've already seen. The usual suspects. 150-day look back. This was a problematic close. We are within spitting distance of this key support level, and this is looking gloomy. Zoom down to the 30-day look back, and you can see that tiny little hint of health yesterday quickly got smashed and sold off poorly, and we're right at crucial support at 415. We've been monitoring 415 ever since it rolled over into the owl up here at 445, and that's an 8% sell-off with a lower high and a collapsing dragon below this big red line. This is really looking negative. You can see on the 30-minute chart just how bad that slide was today with a very poor close. Sideways volatile, drastically oversold on all the NDXs except the 270. Risk off, volatile market, strong ADX to the downside, problematic risk Z right there. Ton of collapses in the Dow and the large caps. It's a pick'em race here for the auto framer. Couple 5DDs fired. Same with the ETFs. Just about everything's on an auto framer head, mostly collapses with the exception of uranium. This is not a healthy market by any means, no help in sight. Buyer's market and a pick'em for the auto framer. Tons of some amazing reward to risk ratios. Would not be surprising to see some plunge protection team come in and really start to reward the financial sector. So let's look at that as an early responder if there's any kind of government buying in here. Very few squeezes in hand, but American Express is one of them, as is McDonald's, which wasn't bad today. So that could be a value play. We'll go, let's see, being dominated by the winter and the Four Seasons, and mostly extreme sell-offs with a very few exceptions in the defensive sectors. And in the frog value list, marijuana continues to just dominate at 9% average volatility, 4.5% in Tesla. Uranium has now moved up into the top 5, along with clean energy, NVIDIA, and regional banks finishing up. All right, that's everything for today. We'll get this published and posted. Thanks for hanging in there. Again, no live podcast tonight due to a late evening soccer match, and we'll resume normal schedule tomorrow. Take good care and keep your risk measured and your powder dry.